Let's get right into it. Our 2026 NFL mock draft 3.0. And we'll start with round one, pick five, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of The Ohio State University. His height, his weight, his year, his school. It goes in this order: 6'5", 244 pounds, a senior out of Ohio State, as I mentioned. His pros: he's got rare size, speed, range combo for an off-ball defender. He's also got that 4.4 speed that we saw in the combine and explosive testing throughout the combine as well. He's also versatile in terms of his usage. History with safety. He's also played box linebacker. He's got a high football IQ and a strong tackler. For his cons, still refining his coverage technique and route recognition after moving down from the secondary spot in college to linebacker. And also, he's got a high cut frame that can lead to some pad level issues and some occasional struggles taking on low blocks inside. Alex, you did the mock draft. Kind of, if you remember, if you have it up, kind of what went into Sonny Styles getting picked here at 5.
Yeah, and a lot of times I've gone through this, he hasn't been at this spot, especially the Titans are frequent, I guess, choosers of him. But yeah, I was kind of looking at it this way. The Giants have obviously lost a huge presence in the run defense department on the interior with the loss of Dexter Lawrence, and you're going to need to plug that gap somehow. And early in this draft, unfortunately, there's not really top end defensive tackle quality caliber players who are going to go in the top 10. So you kind of have to pivot a little bit to what you can do alternatively to get the same goal. And I think Sonny Styles and a combination with the other guy I'm selected at pick 10 in a second, hint, are going to be very, very important in helping to stop the run and kind of make up for that huge loss that you're getting with Dexter Lawrence. And obviously, even with Dexter Lawrence, the Giants' run defense has been abysmal for years and years. And then you're not just getting run defense, right? You're guiding a guy who can move from side to side, cover really well against some of the top talent in college football. And, I said this when we were talking with Justin a couple days ago, Josh. Positional value is a big concern for me here. But at the same time, you have to do what is best for the team in terms of plugging those weaknesses. And I think that kind of overrides that positional value concern for me now, which is very different than it was, 48 hours ago. So I think that's something that Giants fans are going to kind of have to wrap their head around, because I think it is likely if he's there, they will select him because, yes, the positional value is not ideal, but at the same time, you're looking at what you can do in the short term and in the long term to fix this big hole that you lost. So I think it made sense here. And the next guy that we selected here at pick 10, I was more confident that he would make it to pick 10 than Sonny Styles was. So a lot of foreshadowing there, Josh, and I'll let you get to the next guy now.
Round one, pick 10, Caleb Downs, safety, also from Ohio State, 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's a junior. Pros: ultra instinctive safety with outstanding processing angles and motor, consistently around the football at all times. Proven production as well over a big snap count through his years at Ohio State. He's got really good impact plays versus run and pass, that being pass breakups, forced fumbles, interceptions, and tackles for loss. His cons: average pure size length for an NFL safety, not a classic enforcer profile. Again, only 6 foot, 200 pounds, so definitely could add muscle when he gets to the league, but still going to be on the, I guess, shorter side at 6 foot for maybe taller safeties in the NFL. And then he's got long speed, but not truly elite. So he wins more with his instincts than recovery burst, but luckily as a safety, not going to have to do too much man-to-man where he's going to have to win with speed. Sure, it should already be down the field in some sort of coverage zone that should limit the speed being a factor and an issue of getting burnt deep. But maybe running to make plays on either sideline to sideline could be a further issue. But Alex, yeah, round one, pick 10. So you stay defensive in this first round in these picks 5 to 10. Sonny Styles first, and then pick Caleb Downs, both from the same school. So I guess already bring that chemistry to the NFL with the Giants.
Yeah, this is like one of the most one of my favorite mock drafts I've ever done, because even the second round guy we're about to talk about also fits in really well with these guys. So Caleb Downs, obviously one of the best prospects in this class. And once again, you're bringing that familiarity. They've both played together. Obviously, a really, really strong safety, a position of need for the Giants. And at this pick, you're just not getting a better player than Caleb Downs. I know there's been a lot of chatter about Jordan Tyson as of recent days. Obviously, Joe Shane went out to fly to ASU to go speak with him, go, kind of get a feel for him. And, a very good prospect. The injury concerns are a big, red flag for sure. And that's kind of why I decided to pass on him and go with Downs and double down on this defensive side of the ball. I know the Giants could really use some weapons on offense, but the way this board fell, it just felt like if you truly want to play, take best player available, this was the way to do it. And, obviously we don't know the timeline on Malik Neighbors. They did spend big on Isaiah Likely in free agency. So it's not like they're completely neglecting the offensive side of the ball, but, this Dexter Lawrence loss is big, right? And it's something you're going to need to fill in. You're most likely not going to have Kayvon Thibodeau long-term. Interior linebackers are not necessarily long-term answers. Javon Holland is not going to be around forever, would be my guess. It doesn't seem like a super long-term, back-end solution. So you're really just restructuring this entire core of this defense, especially, in the run game department, really solidifying that group. And the next guy here in the second round, Josh, I know it's quite funny how this all has turned out, but another really, really great player. And actually was just watching some Twitter highlights on him this morning before I actually even created this mock. So when his name popped up as available, I was super excited.
Yeah, Alex going with the Ohio State Fan Club mock draft at round 2, pick 37. It's Kaden McDonald, defensive tackle out of, you guessed it, everyone say it with me, the Ohio State University. 6'3", 326 pounds, a junior as well. His pros, massive, powerful interior pressure who fits as a true nose or kind of a one-tech guy and can anchor versus any double teams that come his way. Obviously, as you know, the Giants are going to need someone that could fit against these double teams when they had a guy. His name was Dexter Lawrence. He's no longer on the team, and he was the guy that always got double teamed. Flashes surprising lateral quickness for his size and has shown backfield disruption production at Ohio State. That is the second pro for McDonald. His comms, limited position versatility, so mostly an early down interior run stuffer, kind of has a pass rush ceiling, but not as good as his run stuff. But again, kind of the same thing with Dexter Lawrence. And then conditioning and pad level will be constant points of emphasis for him, giving kind of his mass and kind of big role on the defensive line, especially as a huge defensive tackler right on the interior of defensive lines. So that's round 2. I don't know if you want to give, I know you kind of teased it already, Alex. I don't know if you have any more on it.
I mean, I'll just say he's the best defensive tackle in this class. So it's a weak interior defensive line class, but in terms of what you get, now we're talking all 3 levels now, right? You got a quality starter, defensive tackle, linebacker, and safety, totally just restructuring the backbone of this defense with really talented guys. Obviously neglecting the offensive side of the ball, but really kind of rebuilding this Giants defense in a new way under John Harbaugh. And I think a new identity to this Giants defense. You already got Brian Burns. We know Brian Burns really liked and was close with Dexter Lawrence. We know he was not happy, obviously, with this whole situation. You want to keep him happy. He's a very, very important part of this defense. You can't just let it all fall apart. And I think the only way you show that you're serious about that is reinvesting in it, whether that's draft capital or through free agency, which is obviously already passed. So I think, yes, it's a big investment on the defensive side of the ball, but if this came around draft night, I would be not only understanding of going this route, I would be very much for it because I think this is a very, very excellent first 3 picks. And I think most Giants fans should be happy, barring obviously wanting a wide receiver quite badly.
Moving on to round 4, pick 105, Jake Slaughter, an offensive guard, I think, Alex, out of Florida.
He's a center. He's center guard, kind of. He's
Center
played
guard.
center guard flexibility potentially.
6'5", 308 pounds. He's a senior at Florida, just graduating, I guess, from his senior year now and going to the NFL draft. His pros, intelligent, experienced pivot who makes protection calls and shows strong awareness versus kind of those stunts or blitzes. Also technically sound with natural leverage, good hand placement, and enough mobility to reach and climb. His cons, only average play strength, so not the greatest for an NFL caliber center. Can be stressed by kind of those top tier power noses. Maybe even if he, got drafted, and think about, you really want to mock this. Think about him and McDonald going one on one, center versus defensive tackle in training camp or something like that. Probably would be one where McDonald would win. Length and overall mass are good, but not dominant. So ceiling maybe more of kind of a solid starter than a top, you know, offensive lineman center in the NFL. But again, you're kind of just looking already starting now in this fourth round and above to go best available. And I assume Alex in this slot he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Best available and also conveniently at a position the Giants need depth. Obviously, John Michael Schmitz has not been excellent. Depth and competition there is definitely valuable. You're in the fourth round here, like you mentioned, best player available. And that's kind of where I went with the rest of the draft.
All right, so I think let's see how far we get through. Alex, you can let me know if you want to jump in here for any of these other guys. But in round 5, pick 145, wide receiver USC Jacoby Lane, 6'4", 200 pounds, draft eligible for 2026. His pros: big bodied outside receiver with red zone and contested catch upside at his size, and his frame and catch radius gives him a margin for error on placement and third down isolation situations. So that's the pros for Lane. His cons: he's got a lean build for his height. Again, I said 6'4", but he's only 200 pounds. So definitely needs to add strength if he wants to play against those cornerback in the NFL caliber cornerbacks in the league. And then his long speed / route detail are still developing. So he's kind of got separation issues, relies more on his size than his separation. That's round 5, pick 145. Alex, anything on him, or we'll just keep going here with these round 6 guys?
Yeah, you go through and I'll touch quickly on them all at the end.
Okay. Round 6, pick 186. Thaddeus Dixon, cornerback, North Carolina, 6'1", 185, a senior. Pros: good height for a corner with experience in a Power 5 defense. He can match up with bigger receivers. His length and frame suggests kind of upside in press and in zone coverage windows on the outside. But his cons: he's on the lighter side. He's a 6'1" corner, but only 185 pounds. So that can show up definitely in tackling and play strength. And, if he has to push and shove kind of with getting to break up a route by a wide receiver. And then likely more scheme and matchup dependent early while he refines his technique and adds that mass. So kind of one con goes with the other. Next up, round 6, pick 192, Damon Claiborne, from running back from Wake Forest, 5'10", 188 pounds. He's a senior. His pros: quick, shifty back with good acceleration and space playmaking, fits zone and spread concepts well. He's also a senior that has experience in the passing game. Definitely a good running back too and third down guy if need be. Then his cons: he's undersized for heavy between the tackler volume, more changes of pace than true bell cow, and then power and contact balance versus NFL kind of front 7 size guys. That would definitely be a question. Only 5'10", again, 190 pounds about. Just noticed you had back-to-back ACC guys with North Carolina and Wake Forest. Let's go back down south. Round 6, pick 193, Trey Moore, the final pick in this mock draft. He's an edge rusher from Texas, 6'2", 243. He actually was a transfer as well in Texas with UTSA. His pros: explosive athlete at a 4.54 40, good jumps. So definitely could help him with the bend and the burst off the edge. Has productive collegiate pass rushing experience. His first step and his closing speed translates to a very nice package. But his cons: he's on the shorter and leaner side with 6'2", 240. Definitely not at the NFL edge rusher normal in terms of that. And also his length, 31 and 5/8 arms, can limit his ability versus maybe long tackles that he's versing against on the offensive side, and then needs to keep developing counter moves and run game, play strength to be more aware and better as a situational rusher. And that's our mock draft. Alex, you want to run through, I guess, those later guys before I fully recap it?
Yeah, Lane from USC, big-bodied guy. Giants haven't had a really big-bodied 6'4 plus receiver, I guess since Kenny Golladay, actually, or I guess Lil Jordan Humphrey too counts. But, guys who really can be that 50-50 catch ball for Jackson Dart. Obviously, a lot of issues with him as well in terms of kind of his route tree and his experience, but definitely a guy who could be coached up well, hopefully, assuming that the offensive side of the ball kind of gets even more going this year. Dixon and Trey Moore, definitely more special team guys based on their physicality, their physical traits. And then Claiborne, I really like, good blocker, a guy who can be kind of a third down back, good pass catcher. So something kind of brings a little bit of a different gear to that Giants running back room. So, again, you're in the late rounds, you're really just throwing darts randomly at the board, but all four of those guys seem like good options.
Yeah, indeed. So to round through all of the guys in this mock draft, the first one with picks 5 and 10 in the first round. Let's do it. Round 1, pick 5, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. Round 1, pick 10, Caleb Downs, a safety out of Ohio State. Round 2, pick 37, Kaden McDonald, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. Round 4, pick 105, Jake Slaughter, an offensive center out of Florida. Round 5, pick 145, Jacoby Lane, wide receiver out of USC. Round 6, pick 186, Thaddeus Dixon, a cornerback out of North Carolina. Round 6, pick 192, Demond. I would say, I think it's Demond or maybe Demon Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest. And then round 6, pick 193, Trey Moore, edge out of Texas. And that's the guys in this 3.0 mock draft.